What's going on, everybody? Josh McCarty, Luca, and Stokes with Built In Buffalo, and we are live doing a live stream that you can find on this channel under the live button on YouTube. But we wanted to clip when the Bills are on the clock. They have just traded up to pick number 25 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Stokes, we just saw a really depressing run of Jackson Smith and Jigba, Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, and Jordan Addison coming off the board. My hunch on this is they wanted to get up and get a wide receiver they feel is the last one of first round value. That leads me to Jalen Hyatt or maybe Josh Downs. What's your read on what's going on here?
I actually think that they're trading up for Nolan Smith. I don't think they're going to go wide receiver. I feel like if you're not going to trade up for a guy that you think would be there for you. So I think they're going to trade up for Nolan Smith.
I went full screen because I don't want to see chat spoil it for me. Luca, we have Jack Campbell already off the board. A very big surprise. Jahmyr Gibbs also off the board, was a name late mock to the Bills. Are you feeling wide receiver like me? Nolan Smith, maybe even Mozzie Smith, a guy on a top 30 visit. Where's your head at right now?
I actually lean more towards Stokes. I think they really are looking at Nolan Smith falling to this point. And the conversation you were having earlier on this live stream, it's just like, hey, the value's there. Everything makes sense. And it's unbelievable to think that he's fallen to this point. Beans are going to pull the trigger. History and trends show that that would also be somewhere he go. It just makes sense at this point.
Let me make one more comment, though. Dallas has been hot after tight ends. Hot. Like Michael Mayer is supposedly a hot name in Dallas. Why did they want to get ahead of Dallas? Was there really a fear that Jacksonville was going to take a wide receiver when they have Now, if you're looking at our board, the Bills have trade up. Luca will update it as soon as it happens.
On it.
They added Calvin Ridley. They have Christian Kirk. They have Zay Jones. Was there a fear that Dallas would take a wide receiver? Maybe. Were the Bills afraid of somebody coming up behind them and taking a wide receiver? Always possible. But keep in the back of your mind, Dallas was heavily mocked to tight end. Could the Bills go Michael Mayer, Darnell Washington, or Dalton Kincaid here, Stokes?
They could. It wouldn't. I'll take that back. It will surprise me if they go tight end here, just because of the assets that are in tight end with Dawson Knox. I don't feel like it would make sense for them to spend the first round pick on a tight end. But I mean, what you pointed out makes a lot of sense. I'm hoping that that's not the case here.
It doesn't seem like there's a tackle here worth drafting. Antoine Harrison. Now, that would make sense to get ahead of Jacksonville. They need a tackle, especially with Cam Robinson being suspended. And they lost their tackle to Kansas City this offseason, Jawan Taylor. I don't know who that tackle would be at this point unless they're reaching for Bergeron. But, man, if they trade up for Bergeron, that'd be something. I like the player, but I think that would be a little bit of a reach. Any other predictions that we haven't mentioned? I don't think this would be a linebacker move. It feels like they wouldn't need to trade up for a linebacker here. Any final thoughts here, Luca? Unless you know it, then just keep quiet.
I do not know it yet at this point in time because I've been working on a bunch of graphics. Of course, I got to make a gold number here at 25. Overall, I just really think it's Nolan Smith, or they're just ending it. I love your tight end idea real quick, and I just think it's at that point similar to last year. You just move up a couple picks, trade up to get your guy.
All right. My prediction is Jalen Hyatt. I would not be surprised if it's Josh Downs, and I would be thrilled if it was Nolan Smith. We will see what happens. I think tight ends in play. I just named every player in the draft, so I can't be wrong regardless of what happens. Yay, me. And we are at commercial because the Bills are on the clock. Is there anybody else we haven't mentioned? Mozzie Smith, I think, is definitely in play. Peter was on before, and he mentioned Osiris Torrance. We have said we don't think he's a scheme fit. I also don't think the Bills have the appetite to add an interior offensive lineman, especially at the guard spot, because they've signed 2 guards this offseason. They just signed Ryan Bates the last offseason, Connor McGovern this offseason, plus Edwards. I don't think there's room for a guard here. Tackle would impress me. I like Antoine Harrison. That would make some sense. I wouldn't hate it. Ian Rappaport has a microphone in his hand. The other thing this signals to me, this was not a trade back for DeAndre Hopkins. So that idea apparently is not happening. The Bills only had 6 picks coming into this draft. We will have to assume they've at least lost 2 picks in this trade. There are handshakes in the Bills' war room, which means what could possibly go wrong when you saw the high fives when they drafted Cody Ford. Guys, am I talking really fast? I feel like I'm rambling.
Oh, you're perfect, man. This is an exciting moment. This is a very exciting moment.
Yeah, I think that I'd imagine they gave up a 4th or 5th round pick, along with 27 to get up to 25. So
another name to mention that Joe Biscaglia has been talking about, Brian Branch. I know there's some concern about the age of the safeties, but man, like you have Hyde, you have Poyer, you have Rapp, you have DeMar Hamlin. It just would feel like, how are you going to get him on the field, and why would you trade up to do that? So we shall see what is happening here for the Bills. Luca, you know it, don't you?
Yeah, obviously to make the graphic and everything like that, I did have to know it. I am not going to hint anything like that. I'm not going to ruin this moment for anyone. Stuff like that, we can talk about it afterwards. On my screen, they're cutting to the stage, so we should know everything like that. I know some individuals are saying stuff in chat. If you don't want to know it right now, Josh and Stokes, do not look at chat.
I will not look at chat. Roger Goodell is coming up. There are no kids on the stage, which means we're not going to have a prolonged, like, this person played flag football once in his life. Let's talk all about his story. I can't believe I'm saying this in the YouTube video. I'm a horrible, horrible person. All right. Goodell is not coming up. There he is, walking very slowly. Roger, focus, dude. It's an exciting time, folks. Will the Bills get their wide receiver? Will they answer their defensive tackle need? Clearly, they're not trading this for DeAndre Hopkins. The pick is in. The Bills selection. Roger Goodell.
Huh.
I don't like that sound. Dalton Kincaid.
It's not a bad one.
They went tight end, the best receiving tight end in the class, and they traded up to do it. So, first of all, do we feel like this was the wide receiver board was not falling the way we wanted it? So instead of taking wide receiver 5 at this point in time, let's just take the best pass catching weapon available in the draft. What do you think about that, Stokes?
That's about the best I can give you there. I mean, okay, all right. Just add something different to the offense, I guess. That's not what I would have wanted to do.
So, Luca, this is not a blocking tight end. This is absolutely a move tight end, a tight end that can line up out wide. He's not going to add much to your running game. There are some similarities between him and Dawson Knox. Neither one of those guys are great blockers. I had thought that maybe Michael Mayer would be somebody that fit them more, but the pass catching ability of a Dalton Kincaid does stand out when you watch him.
I think the thought process when it comes to Dalton Kincaid is simple. They wanted to maximize a receiving threat. And yes, everything you said about Michael Mayer and stuff, and it's documented if you want to go back. I loved Michael Mayer. I just think they valued the pass catching attribute of Dalton Kincaid so much, where they hope that this can bring a versatility to the offense when it comes to actually being a pass catching tight end that can give you different looks, put them in different opportunities and places on the offense overall. And you're adding a weapon of a different dynamic to this. The knock is Knox is the only guy there to do his job. It's not extremely high end. It's not Travis Kelce. It's not like what Diggs does at wide receiver, but realistically, Quentin Morris could be decent, but it's a projection. It's not a known. And Knox was really the only guy that was there. And on top of it, you just want to have another option inside there. We brought it up, actually. I can't remember which one of our previous shows, Josh, but it's like they brought in OJ Howard last year to maybe have this potential flirtation with 2 tight end sets. And then OJ Howard just didn't work out. He wasn't fitting. The 2 sides couldn't see eye to eye. It just wasn't working. He didn't look great when it came to being in this Bills offense. Now they're just going back to the well in a way where they're just bringing in another high-end caliber talent, hopefully, that can bring those 2 tight end sets back. Blocking may be suspect at this point in time, but that clearly is not where their mindset at. If they're taking Kincaid over a Mayer, they're not concerned with blocking. They just want to have 2 tight end receiving threats in addition to all the other weapons they have.
Mike Stinson asks, who's better? They're different. It's different flavors.
Yeah.
Michael Mayer is not the athlete that Dalton Kincaid is. Dalton Kincaid is a very good receiver. He is just not going to add much as a blocker. Dalton Kincaid has gotten comps this draft season to Travis Kelce. That's rich. That's very rich. But the way he moves, the way he gets open and then the way he moves after the catch, there's a lot to work with there. There's a lot to like. One of my concerns is Ken Dorsey, because we saw last season, they brought in James Cook. They brought in Naheem Hines, and we all had visions of how are they going to utilize these moving chess pieces. And now Ken Dorsey has 2 tight ends that can catch the ball. Does he have the capability, Stokes, to maximize that usage? Because if you just traded up and spent the 25th pick on a player who's only going to be on the field for 30% of the snaps and get 3 targets a game, that's no good.
I don't think that it's a good decision to trade up and spend a first round pick on a guy that you're not going to try and scheme to capitalize on their abilities. So I do think that as a team we'd probably be showing our hand anytime he's on the field. But at the same time, if he's meant to be used as that slot guy who's just going to find the holes in zones, or whether he's just going to provide mismatches against either linebackers or DBs. I mean, then that's something to add to the offense. But it's really difficult to gauge how that's going to look with so many different players that we see as they have this upside, and how we feel these players can be used, and just to see how they're going to be. How it's going to look as an offense when you want Stephon Diggs to be the lead dog. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
Has anybody seen the trade details? I'd love to get this in the video we're posting on YouTube if we have it.
No, I have not at this point in time, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I want to go ahead and end this video here. One last thing. Well, I'll get to it after the video. Check the live stream. But Dalton Kincaid is the newest Buffalo Bill. They did go offensive player, the first player drafted in the first round on the offensive side of the ball since the Bills have taken Josh Allen. He is Stokes. He is Luca. I am Josh McCarty, and thank you so much for checking out this video on Built in Buffalo.